I've won and lost against the best. This old road's been a hell of a test. But I'm still driving, I ain't slowing down. There's rules I'd love to break and bend, mistakes I've made again and again. But I tell you this, my friends, I'm still around. I hit it hard, man, so far, man. No laying up, no holding back. Ain't afraid of nothing, it's a natural fact. I hit it long, man, till it's gone, man.
Hello everyone, I'd like to welcome you to the first season, the first episode of a little podcast we're starting here called Average Goats. Myself, Pappy, and I'm here with the Hanger Brothers. How you guys doing today?
Good.
Doing great, Pappy.
Excited, man.
So first off, we're going to start talking about the whole idea and where the name Average Goats came from. So if you guys can tell me a little bit of the backstory behind that.
So we came up with Average Goats during golf season 2020, primarily from just average guys, amateurs at your local club, hitting golf shots, trying to get videos on TikTok and get a little following going. And the premise is that it's your local guys talking about golf, you know, everything from shots that we hit, equipment, course conditions, to pin placements, you know, everything like that. So,
Yeah. Just talking about professional golf too. Most of us all play golf or work at a golf course, so we kind of know what's going on, and just talking about professionals and seeing what they're doing from an average golfer's, average goat's perspective, where we're not on that tour level, you know. So that's why we came up with it.
All right, nice. So just a quick overview then. I think just so the people listening, we're going to be talking professional golf, college golf when it's a topic that we feel that we should talk about, area amateur events. Hopefully we're going to open it up in the summer here for people to talk about invitationals they're going to or their club championships. I think it's going to be good to get some area people on that. And then we're going to talk a little gambling, you know, who we feel confident with, some picks for the upcoming week, go over the previous week's tournament as well. Try to get you guys some little tidbits and extra information that you're not getting on from any other source or avenue. And then also we're going to do some cool, you know, just golfer talk. You know, maybe bourbons one week, or what's your on-course device? Are you a cigar guy, or are you throwing some tobacco in?
CBD chewing gum.
yeah, what's the crutch, right?
If you got a buddy coming from Illinois, you can bring you the other stuff, exactly. So pretty much the idea of the podcast is to talk about what every club and or municipal golf course where you're talking about with your friends and your co-golfers, you know, at the 19th hole, air quote that, you know.
Yeah, we're talking about the best shot you hit during that round, and we're talking about the shank that you hit on the third hole. You know, we want it all. So
Absolutely, and when we get this up and running, we're definitely going to want you know, videos and stories from area golfers talking about, you know, the weekend warrior stuff that happens on Saturdays. So and then Sundays when we're slamming those trunks, and any good videos of your buddies hitting those good shots or the not so good ones. But for sure. So. All right, guys. Well, we kind of plan on doing this for the last couple of weeks. Been talking about doing this show for a while, and we had a plan to do it today, and it's right after one of the biggest stories in golf in a long time. It ends up being the car accident of Tiger Woods. First thoughts of when you saw that, Joel?
As most people may know that are friends with me, Tiger, big fan of Tiger, have been ever since late 90s. It was a surreal moment seeing that on TV. You know, I just kind of went back to the Kobe Bryant incident that happened last year, and just stuff like that started coming to mind when I saw pictures of the car, thinking, is he okay? So that was kind of my first reaction.
yeah, Tiger. How can you not be a fan of Tiger with everything that he's done for the game? Brings the crowd, you know, fun to watch on TV. Clearly from the ratings over the years, and your heart just kind of sinks a little bit because obviously your first reaction is you hope that he's okay, right? None of us having a personal relationship with him. We then start to think about, you know, well, what does a golf career look like? And it's a lot of unknowns with what looks like the injuries were. Talking about that right leg pretty much being shattered, comparable to his recovery or Alex Smith's recovery with the muscle issue and, possible infections and fixators being attached. So he's got a long road ahead of him.
Yeah, you bring up Alex Smith. That was a 2-year recovery for a 34-year-oldish kind of guy. This is a 45-year-old golfer who's had 4 or 5 back surgeries. The other issues, he had an Achilles tendon issue before. So I don't know if a 2-year time. I mean, time will tell, obviously, but 2 years is pretty.
That was
Pretty tough.
that was my initial thought was hopefully 24 months, but if it goes longer, that's
Yeah.
fortunate for golf.
And Alex Smith didn't break his leg as badly as what they're saying. He's got multiple different fractures, so that's going to be interesting.
And a shattered ankle.
And a shattered ankle, yeah. So
Yeah.
I don't think this is a simple Tony Finau pop it back in place type of thing.
And run down to get a hole in one ball.
Yeah.
Yep, for sure. So last week's tournament was at the famous Riviera Country Club, and that's kind of why Tiger was out there. He was the host, and strongest field in quite some time. The play was really good, but we were talking on social media Saturday when they pulled the golfers off. That was kind of the story of the weekend. To start the weekend for golf was how the wind conditions had affected the field and the playability of the famous Riviera. So what did you guys think about them blowing the horn so quickly? And because I know I was trying to be Mr. Tough Guy, but I've played in a lot of worse weather. People around here in Northwest Indiana, you play in a lot worse weather. You play when it's 40, you play when it's 38 and flurrying. So I didn't see the harm in letting the pros struggle once in a while with some course conditions where it's not absolutely perfect every single time. So what did you guys think about them calling it off and kind of pausing it and then restarting later in the day?
Well, my first reaction was, this is kind of crazy. It's wind, right? As average goats, like you said, we've played in far worse wind conditions, especially here in Northwest Indiana where we get crazy gusts all season long. But I was reminded of the event in the Bahamas a few years ago. I think it was a Web.com tour event where they had gusts and, the flags are bent over and stuff. And those guys still went at it. So it was a little weird that they got pulled off. But course conditions, they set it up like a major championship apparently, and greens were tight. Balls were rolling off.
Every player, the week leading up to it, they were all saying about how firm it was so early in the week and how that was going to play out. So, but I think they did some stuff. They didn't mow them as
They didn't roll 'em,
aggressively.
they didn't mow 'em.
So that was kind of my whole thing. And I know everybody's going to go to the one shot where the ball stopped 2 feet from the hole, and then all of a sudden it was off the green. And shortly after, that's when they blow the horn and start pulling guys in. But does it have to be perfect every single week? Do they have to have the best bunkers and the best greens and the best courses every single week? I kind of like watching a British Open, watching them struggle from time to time. So it doesn't have to be 24 under every week.
Yeah, and it was also interesting to see the stat line of it was the highest ever weekend round at Riviera since 1983. So that's telling, just because you don't usually see guys other than at major championships, usually U.S. Open, struggling to break par on rounds. So
It's kind of nice though, because like
It
as
is. Average goats.
Pappy says, yeah, the average goats here, we're trying to do everything we can to, break 90, break 80, get close to par. That's always the goal, depending on your skill level. So we know the struggle, and it's tough.
Try to go back into a pro shop and ask for a wind check. I don't think you're getting that from an average municipal place. So
I can tell you our pros' response would be a stern laugh.
Right, exactly. So getting back to how they got it back on track, they played late into the night on Saturday, and then they got the tournament done in completion on Sunday. And even with extra holes needed, it was pretty exciting. I still can't get over the Max Homa
shot.
the chip, not
Oh
the
my-
putt. Everybody wants to
yes.
talk about the putt, and I'll be honest, I don't even think I would have came as close as he did on that putt trying to win a PGA tournament. So, but that chip where he hoods that wedge
Oh,
and
yeah.
gets the ball to the front of the
It's
green.
that 10-footer.
I mean, because obviously it's kind of like a match play scenario there. It's him and Finau, and he gets it up there. Before he hits that shot, Finau's got to be thinking, I got a really good chance of making a
Yep.
birdie, but he's got a really good chance of making a bogey, and it really flipped it.
Yeah, it was interesting. He put that shot within like 10 feet, and then both of them both had breakers, like 10-inch plus breaking putts. and neither of them really touched the hole. Kind of like Homa's putt on 18 where he missed the, 3-footer?
Right.
Well, I mean, we all know how that scenario. How many amateurs miss that 3-footer? Assholes are puckering up. I mean, and then you take it to another level, and he's chasing his first victory here. He's on 18. He knows what that does if he makes that putt. So he had to be a little bit nervous. And I'm a big Homa fan. I like his game, but I also follow him on Twitter, which I think he's highly entertaining. And I put a few bucks typically most weeks on him on FanDuel. For some reason, went past him on Sunday to put a few bucks, but he pulled it out.
Yeah, going into that, it was a lot of the money was going in on DJ.
And he was disinterested after about
About
4 holes.
Well, the 9th hole is where he made the 1 bogey, and then 10 he made another one. He just checked out and wanted to get back on the jet, I think. But watching him miss that putt, I was just like, right when he missed it, I went, "Oh no, Scott Hoke!" at the Masters back in the day, and I was like, I know that pain. You can't miss it that bad, low side, right? You just got to kind of ram it on the right side, but.
Yeah, most of those guys are throwing it in the back of the jar, right? They're trying to be aggressive with that.
Yeah, but it was also a 3-foot putt they had to take outside the hole.
Yeah, I mean, we know how those 3-footers go, right, JB?
I mean, league horse race, that's
Tough
how
to
it
get past
goes.
that first hole, right?
You can't hit the green from 96 yards and
Yeah.
can't make a 2-footer for par.
I know a certain course where the superintendent would have got a call to go get the putter out of the pond. So it would have happened.
Yeah, something like that.
So, but yeah, no, it was a good tournament. It was definitely fun and entertaining to watch. But as we move to this week, we have nothing but a bunch of golf options to be watching here. You have
2
PGA
tournaments.
Tour, yeah, it's going to be in Puerto Rico, and then all the big boys, as I call them, the main guys are going to be at the World Golf over there, and they're going to be playing in Concession down in Florida. First time they're going to be there, and first major pro-style event that's going to be at this facility. What are you guys thinking about for this weekend?
Well, as we kind of talked or alluded to before the show here, I am excited about it just because we've never really seen the golf course. And from looking it up, it's fairly new golf course, and you as a superintendent will have more to offer on the golf course. So I'll probably more hear your take on it. But I'm looking forward to it, especially a WGC event. You got a limited field. So you get to see a lot more of those guys playing on a golf course that we've never seen before. So I'm excited about it.
Yeah, Puerto Rico last year, Victor Hovland had won, and that was his first win, I think, on tour, wasn't it?
I think so.
So that was pretty large. But this week you got a stellar field. You got ton of top players, top 50 playing in the tournament, and you got JT, you got Brooks, you got Rory, you got Neiman, who's been playing well lately, Patrick Cantlay. I can go on and on about all the top players in the field, but the course will probably be the main talking point this week if I had to take a guess. Yeah. Let's hear the superintendent's take on Concession.
Well, I definitely think at the end of the weekend, the course is going to be the story. So a little bit of background on this place. It was 2006 Golf Digest, first, award winner, brand new private club. It was built by Nicholas and Tony Jacklin, and that's the putt he gave him in the 69 Ryder Cup. So that was actually the first year ever, where they get the name for this club. It was the first year ever that the Ryder Cup finished in a tie. And the United States got to keep the cup, and it was because he gave him a 2-footer on the 18th hole.
Yeah.
If it was Max Holman, he would have missed it. So
Yeah. Which is a cool name for the course, too.
It is.
Yeah.
It's really cool. It's very cool. So yeah, it's going to play about, just over 7,400 yards. The greens are already stumping according to the GCSA spec sheet that we looked at today. They're already at a 12, so the greens are going to be rolling great. And the main thing that people talk about this course is the par 5s have a backbone here. And that's going to be interesting because the way that Dustin Johnson's been rolling lately, and everybody always wants to talk about Bryson, how far he hits it, it looks like there's going to be more strategy and more three shots going into these greens rather than just banging it out there and trying to get on the green. So I think that opens the field up more. And I really like a Patrick Cantlay this week or a Hatton. Hatton's been tearing it up over across the pond, as they say, so that'll be really good. I wouldn't mind some more drama, everybody's favorite villain, the big jerk, Patrick Reed. be mixing it up. I'd like to see him this weekend get a.
I don't know, I kind of see JT playing well this week for some reason.
Okay.
Or even a Jason Kokrak.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, we've got my 4 guys listed down here for our FanDuel discussion. I'm always a DJ guy. I think his game's consistent over the years with as sharp as his wedge game has gotten. He's always going to be in the hunt. Just always seems to be, on Saturday, Sunday, which DJ you're going to get from a interest/motivation perspective. His golf game is there, but when his head's in it, I think he's almost unbeatable. We saw that at the Masters last year when he was laser focused. I like Schauffele at courses like this. I think JT will have a good week. I think with as close a bond as he has to Tiger, I think that might step him up just another notch this week, wanting to go out and win one for his buddy. And then I'm just going to throw my random one out there as Kevin Na. You never know when Kevin's going to show up. So
Kevin Na.
He's like the Matt Kuchar, he's just so consistent.
That's going to be a future episode, and going back to that whole story about what happened with him a couple of years ago, because there is some dirt on Kevin Na. It gets a little tighter on the collar, for sure. But I think, too, this week we could look forward to hopefully seeing it all come down to the 18th hole. The 18th hole is it's a par 4, tree-lined, and they're hitting back up to an elevated green that's well protected by bunkers and water. So I think if we can get it to the 18th hole, there could be some really good drama.
yeah, that'll be interesting to see. So how many of these guys do you think have, how many rounds they have at this course? Have they seen this golf course much? I mean, I have to think that most of these guys are only getting practice rounds leading up to this week as far as first experience on the golf course. I could be wrong there, but what do you guys think?
I think some of these guys have probably played it. I know they had an NCAA tournament there, and it was actually for the national championship. Bryson DeChambeau won it that year. He was the individual winner. So I find it kind of funny. None of you want to put some money on Bryson, but
His game's a little different now than what it was then.
right.
So
I think that's why I don't really see anybody running away from the field here or getting. I think we're going to be really entertained on Sunday. There's like 73 bunkers, 13 water hazards. But just a nod to the staff here and the superintendent, what's his name, Terry Kennelly. They only had 46 days to prepare for this tournament,
right?
For a World Golf Championship event. I mean, that's pretty phenomenal that they're going to pull this off.
So where'd they move this from? Where was it?
Mexico. This one's
this
usually
was the
played down
Mexico.
in Mexico,
WGC Mexico.
yeah, kudos to that superintendent. They catch a lot of flack sometimes, but you always got to give them credit too when they bring their A game, right, Pappy?
No, they never get credit. They only get yelled at,
Bitching about pins.
MF'd, yeah.
But
Text, what were you thinking on the 15th hole today? What is wrong with you? I remember when I was engaged, somebody asked me if I needed to go to Vegas, and they would pay for it because the pins were too tough for the whole entire round. It was like every day was a revenge pin. So, superintendents, we don't get any love. It's fine. We all meet up and talk about all the different members and players.
I'm sure.
Talk crap about the rest of the membership.
The wannabe average goats.
Oh yeah.
You start getting names for members from the superintendent. What certain members complain a lot and what certain ones
Yeah.
don't. And they get their own name from.
It's cliche, but it's definitely who's your Judge Smales from Caddyshack.
Exactly.
Who's your,
Exactly.
for sure. So who do you guys? At the end of the day, final thoughts on what you expect this week, and if you had to put a couple bucks out there, who would you throw it on?
Me personally, I'd put it on Neiman.
Okay,
Just straight down the middle, consistent golfer.
so we're gonna track this for point system for all
All right.
years. So you're going Neiman.
We're going
Gotcha.
Neiman. We're doing one person. That's all we're doing.
One person, and
Okay.
we're gonna take whatever money they make, and that's your money. Then your money that you made for the year, whoever you pick.
Okay.
All right, I'm going Xander Schauffele for me this
Xander
week.
Schauffele. Okay, that's a pretty good one. It's a pretty good one. I'm gonna go. With the Hatton guy from across, and I'll go Eurotrash and see if I can win some money off you guys, and we'll see how that plays out. Just real quick though, going back to the whole story about concession. and the whole, it was built by Jack Nicklaus. This club was designed by him, actually in collaboration with Tony Jacklin, who he played the Ryder Cup with. But really cool tidbit of information I wanted to give to you guys that we didn't talk about before we put the record button on. The Ryder Cup in 1969.
Oh, gosh.
Okay? America ties them. They retain the cup. First time ever. We talked about that earlier, right? I want to read some names that made up that United States team. And it is kind of crazy because I think back of when, it's a Ryder Cup year. That's why I'm bringing it up so much. It's going to be a fun year in golf. But people always talk about, well, captain's pick. Can we, bring on X amount of rookies, yada, yada, yada. And everybody's always worried about that. So listen to this team. Captain was Sam Snead. You guys heard of him?
Yep.
Yeah, he was kind of good at golf. And then we had Miller Barber and Tommy Armour, both rookies for the Ryder Cup that year. We had Frank Beard and Dale Douglas, rookies. This is still the American team. I've never heard of most of these guys.
Dale sounds more like
Sounds
an
like
average
sounds
goat.
like average
Yeah.
goats to me.
No, here comes the average goat name. Because that's what I was. Dave Hill. Dave Hill is an average goat. He was a rookie on the team with another guy, Raymond Floyd. Not an average goat.
No,
Raymond
not
Floyd.
at all.
He did all right. Here's another average goat. Ken Still,
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, these sound like a couple of 12, 14ers at your club, right?
Dan Sykes. These are all rookies on this American team that ended up retaining the cup. And then you had rookies Lee Trevino and Jack Nicklaus. They made a pretty good debut. And the only two players on the entire squad that were returning Ryder Cup members were Gene Littler
I've heard of you.
and the biggest underrated player of all time, Billy Casper. And Billy Casper, win percentage in the Ryder Cup was 73.68 in 19 matches. Think about that.
Yeah.
And they want to call Patrick Reed Captain America.
Yeah. We're gonna have to get like Brandel Chambly in here for something on a call. When we start talking about this
No
old
way.
stuff.
He
because they
uses,
got-
he uses way too good vocabulary.
Yeah.
He doesn't drink beer, I'll tell you that right now. He's a wine snob, and I would never hang out with him.
He's an interesting cat.
Yes, for
he
sure.
he also outkicked his coverage, but that's neither here nor there.
Well, that's an average goat thing.
That's
so
an
maybe he
average
could-
goat thing. Yep.
And I would say Brandel's probably borderline average goat.
Yeah.
I don't think he really
He probably wouldn't like us saying that, but yeah, I would
No.
definitely say.
I mean, he
say
tried to
that.
make a
play
comeback.
better, Brandel.
He
Yeah,
tried,
that's right.
He tried to make a comeback last year or the year before, but didn't go too well.
No,
Played in the British.
he's
senior
probably
British.
reapplying for like amateur status,
Well, he might. Yeah.
so he can get some of that money now. with all the new
$750.
rules.
Yes.
Right? Doesn't have to be shop credit.
No more shop credit.
Straight cash. He wants the
Yeah.
$750 from the club championship.
Something tells me he's not hurting for that 750 though.
No, he's probably doing all right on Golf Channel for sure. So switching gears, then the regular PGA Tour is going to be a little bit further south, and they're going to be in Puerto Rico. What are your guys' initial thoughts of who might come out? I mean, it's kind of a who's who of I don't know this guy, and then oh my God, I remember that guy. Like haven't heard from this guy in years. So who do you guys kind of thinking?
Well, first on the list when I look it up on PGAtour.com is on the leaderboard, first tee time, Nick Watney.
Nick Watney.
Wow.
Are you liking him?
I do.
He hangs around, right? He's still kind of
He's-
giving it a go.
His struggle is always he can't put 4 rounds together. He can't put 2 rounds back to back together, but I still like him as a player. I think he's a good solid stick.
You're over here throwing mad shade to this guy. He's on the PGA Tour. I can't put 5 holes together. You're talking about 2 rounds, 3 rounds, 4 rounds. Correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't Nick Watney look it up there? Didn't he win an event?
Yes.
And you're talking all this junk.
I mean, I'm just saying.
Your biggest achievement was you got your Scotty Cameron package today.
Yeah.
you're talking mad crap
Come
about
on.
Nick Watney.
Reigning invitational champion,
don't
though.
make-
or
sorry.
back to back.
Don't make me go
times.
get my
Two
trophy over
Sorry.
here.
Yeah. We're not gonna bring out the shootout, right? Or the
No.
horse race. We're
No.
not gonna bring that up. How that?
For men's league?
Yeah.
No.
I think Watney catches a little shade because he had, a little Jordan Spieth this few years there, right, where he was still struggling a bit and grinding it, wasn't at the top. Where there was a number of years where Nick Watney was great.
I mean, yeah, like 2008 to 2012.
Kind of reminds me of like a Keegan Bradley.
Yeah.
Kind of like
Yeah.
in that realm. Be like they get hot and you're like, yeah, why isn't this guy has? It looks like he plays the part where he should be
Yeah.
winning once a year, once every 2 or 3 years. But
Keegan seems like a guy that would be a great time to hang out with. I don't know that I want to play a lot of golf with him because his pace of play that club twirls
Oh,
thing,
yeah.
I just couldn't
don't-
take it. I don't
I
think.
could not
but
hit my ball. I'd hit the ball with the club.
It's
on
just
the
like
front.
hit it, Keegan. Come on,
It's
let's
the
go.
fidget spinner for
Yeah.
golfers.
Yeah.
Let's go.
And then I see everybody's favorite Smiley Kaufman in the field too. Must have got a sponsor's exemption.
Well, everybody else is in Bradenton, right?
Yeah.
So
We're
Smiley's,
taking the week off.
and it's not spring break week, so Smiley's available.
He's not crushing 30 racks of Bush Light
Yeah.
this week or Bush Lattes for sure.
I see for Pappy, I'm gonna have to bring my member guest trophy in here for strength of individual and
Uh-oh.
just showing my.
I mean, the Puerto Rico, these events when they line up against the WGC or some other events, it's always nice to have somebody that can, step up. They don't have the elite guys there, they compete and pull out a victory. And you got names all over the board playing in this tournament. I mean, Patrick Harrington's playing in this tournament.
I thought he was hurt.
Johnson Wagner is a guy that
He's on my
he's
list.
he's a grinder. He's
Probably 'cause
typically
his
shows
name's-
up in Texas most
I
of the
just
time when
like
he plays.
Johnson, and then he's
Yes,
got
that's
that
where-
awesome mustache most days.
Yeah.
and
Seamus Power.
I'm kind of looking, we saw a blast from the past a couple weeks ago in golf coverage, a guy by the name of Hunter Mahan.
Oh, I know.
And he's on this
I could
list.
not believe it.
He looked like an average goat. He
He
looked like
did.
he'd been playing in a 16-inch beer in hand softball league, and then he got an exemption and started playing on the tour again. But he was on a leaderboard for a little bit, so maybe not being at the big stage, and
What did he play? Did he
Kinda
play in the
right.
waste management? Is that what he played in?
I think it was that, yeah, maybe Pebble Beach. But yeah, I think it was the waste management. But
Yeah,
he had like a gourmet mullet going on, and
I mean, don't throw shade at the mullets.
no, absolutely not. I'm trying to get mine ready for July.
Yeah.
For how else do you celebrate the 4th of July without a great mullet?
Hunter's he's still clawing, right? He's still trying to get back. Whenever I think of Hunter, I just think of that shank at that WGC out in was that Arizona?
Well, there was
Number of
that,
years
and then
back.
he had
And the
the,
chip,
the flub
the
at the
flub.
Ryder Cup.
Yeah,
float
yeah, that big
over,
time.
Ugh, that was awful.
Ted Purdy
no,
playing in this
no,
event.
thank you.
Oh my goodness.
I think
Is everybody in this tournament
isn't
a
like
sponsor's
Robert? I
exemption?
think Robert Allenby's playing. Hopefully, he doesn't get in another bar fight with himself in the bathroom.
These guys are trying to pick up a little coin. They're doing a Kevin Kisner. I'm just playing to pick up some money, right?
Yeah,
I think
I'll finish top 20
Yeah.
every week.
I
and
know
take
I'm not
home
going to win. I'm just
take
going to
home
take a
couple
check home,
hundred
right?
grand.
As he spits, a little dip in.
for my pick to win this week, I'm going with Ian Poulter. So that
I
makes
did
back
see he was
that,
practicing
that
this
makes two
morning,
picks that I'm going with European players over here, but I think he needs the rebound. He's a guy he always plays well at the Masters. He's always like in one of those last 5 groups, it seems, and
Yeah, but if he gets into the Masters, yeah, he plays well at the Masters.
he's got to get this win. He
Yeah.
gets this win and starts rebounding, getting back in that top 50 in the world where he really should be. He's one of those people that he just always guts the USA on a Saturday afternoon, and it's time that he wins a big event.
Ian Poulter, I saw, I don't know if it was Twitter or Facebook, him rolling the rock. I think that was within the last few days here, showing us average goats that the putter, it does not matter. As he of course, he had a training aid that he was putting them. I don't know if you guys saw that clip. or
Yeah,
not.
he went through like 6 putters.
Yeah, 6 putters.
Oh.
Every single one of them went
Throated
in.
it.
I think there was only one that caught the right side and fell. I wasn't paying close attention to exactly which putters he was rolling through, but that's interesting, right? There was mallets in there, blade putters.
Not the weapon, it's the
Yeah,
operator
yeah.
error.
He and I have the same issues, it seems like.
Yeah,
Just
whatever.
roll through the putters.
Yeah,
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what putter
Yeah.
you play with.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. At the end of the day, you're going to have 28 putts. You're going to have 32 putts.
I mean, Tommy Two Gloves is in the
No,
Puerto
speak
Rican
for
event.
yourself. Us real average goats are like 34, 36 putts, and it's definitely the putter's fault,
Yeah,
not the
always
putteer's
always
fault.
the putter.
Yeah.
Who are you going with?
I was just browsing through the tee times here, and I see that Tommy Two Gloves is in the field. So
Wasn't he in some legal trouble as well?
Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah.
You want to know who I'm going to throw out there? And
Ted Potter Jr.
Ted Purdy? No. Aaron Badley.
I just saw that name too.
Who you going
I
with?
don't know about that.
Did he not? Did he win this event?
I didn't even think Tommy Gainey was allowed back in the state of Florida
I
after
thought
what
he was in
happened.
some. I thought he was in
Let's
some
get back to
big.
that. You're burying the lead here.
Well, he might be living in Puerto Rico now. We don't know.
Yeah, that's
Maybe
right.
that's
Puerto
for
Rico,
tax.
sorry,
Maybe that's for
yeah.
Yeah,
tax
I
purposes.
mean-
Who knows?
Yeah,
Maybe.
might be
yeah.
going for the state income tax benefit. John Senden. My goodness.
I don't
No.
Lucas Glover, that's a good
Come back to
Ew.
me.
All right, well, while you're figuring out your pick, I'm going to drop a little tidbit here. A guy in the field at the Puerto Rico Open. Okay, you ready for this? Second all-time for the Puerto Rico Open in winnings at this event. So he can't be a top 50 guy because he's playing the event opposite of the World Golf Championship quite a bit.
Your boy DA Points?
No.
1 second.
Oh, you're going to look it up real quick?
Yeah,
No, I'm not
we all
looking
know
at-
how to use Google.
I'm
Joel.
looking at the field. I'm looking at the field.
You have been kicked out of trivia night.
So, how many years have they been playing at Puerto Rico? You have any clue?
I
Well,
don't
it's
know.
it's probably been named something else. You know, it's probably
Yeah.
one of those that they've played in it for 20 years or 15 years, and then they just change the name of it every so often when they lose a sponsor. I'm looking here through the field to see for your answer, Pappy. Dickie Pride.
I mean,
where are these people coming
Lucas
from?
Glover's in the field. His wife's letting him play.
Yeah, this field's got a lot of former
Yeah.
Illinois players. They have
Oh, I like how you throw that little.
DA Points, the Illini. Well, they're a little bit better than Purdue or Indiana for sure. But, yeah, DA Points is playing. Thomas Peters is playing. Dylan Myers playing. It's a who's who of the Illini nation, maybe. I don't know. But dark horse, if you're looking for a dark horse, get some good odds to bet. I like this week. If you could do like a top 10 or a top 25, Bo
Hostler? Hostler? Yeah, he's
Yes.
a good player. I like him.
He's a
good.
big dude.
He is a big
Very
guy. He's
tall.
lost a little weight though, I think here lately. For your answer or my dark horse for this, while I'm still thinking about your other question, I'll go with Bill Haas.
Bill Haas, okay.
Billy? Wasn't he the one that clipped Hunter in the Tour Championship that year when he hit that shot out of the water?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Off of the,
Hunter hasn't been the same since.
Yep.
Somebody that's not in the top 50 that has the most money. Was that
Second most career earnings just in this event. So he's got to be a Puerto Rico Open legend.
Yeah, just killing a Puerto Rico event.
Johnny Vegas?
No, it's not. But that's a good guess. It's
He might not be.
you're not even gonna know this guy.
No,
His name's Scott Brown, and he's teeing up this week. You might wanna
Dude,
put
I
some
know
money
Scott
on-
Brown.
You might want to put some money on him this week.
I was gonna pick
reading
him
that.
as my dark horse.
I was reading that the other morning. Put him on your list. We'll track it. We'll report back.
Who did
next
Michael
week.
pick for his?
I'm
Puerto
still
Rico?
thinking,
I'm
man.
Still thinking.
DJ Trahan.
Yeah, it really is. Like, did you play on the PGA Tour 12 years ago? Yes. Would you like to come and try one more time? Yes. Here's a ticket to Puerto Rico.
Yeah, there's no.
That's literally what they're doing this week.
I was gonna say this is.
Tommy
this
Gainey
is-
was like, "Well, I have a little passport trouble. Can you help me
Yeah,
out?"
yeah.
It's like, "You're all right with the
Yeah.
passport, dude."
Can you get a boat to get me down there?
Yeah, we'll get you over there.
How long is the boat ride?
I feel like you didn't take Johnson Wagner, or you did.
No, I did not.
No.
Nope.
I'm going Johnson Wagner.
Okay.
It's not a Texas event, but I hope he shows up. Seems to always play well in Texas.
Houston Open.
Ricky Barnes is still trying to get it done, huh?
Ricky's out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wonder if he's still playing those Wilsons. Well,
I'm not sure, but yeah.
with that wannabe painter's
could-
hat.
I can tell you that doesn't bode well for us trying to get a Wilson sponsorship around here. First event, Wolf.
I didn't say woof. I said woo.
Oh.
No, woof.
What are you messing with that Scotty package?
Well,
that
you just
came
said
in?
sponsorship, so I
Yeah.
figured I'd pull some stuff out. You know, this year's Scotty Cameron 2021 membership pack includes.
For the record, as of right now, they're not sponsoring
No.
anything here.
Yeah.
This
And
just
this
FedEx.
is the elite level of
Yeah.
average goats.
Yeah,
the rest of
that's
us
right.
play
Yeah,
like
this is
scuffed up Strixons.
Yeah, FedEx just happened to show up
Bridgestones.
So
right
what
before
did
we
you
were
get
starting.
in this package? Let's go through this thing because I do see it on Facebook a lot. These guys that are just avid collectors, and everybody's looking for different types of.
You know, I used to be a pretty.
putter
I used to be a
covers.
pretty avid collector, and I have sold some here in the last 12 months, Scotties, but
I thought pre-show you were telling us you've never sold a piece
I
Yeah.
have not a piece, putters. I've sold putters.
out of this collection.
So
So this is a Scotty Cameron
valuables money pouch.
that they.
So it's a man purse.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
I
like
mean-
when you go to the course and you're talking with the guys and
You want to put your chapstick
you want
on.
to put your
Yeah.
chapstick in here, your wallet. You can put your phone in here. It's just really nice to have. I'll never use it ever in my life. It'll stay downstairs.
That
in
looks
my
like
bag.
maybe the big timers, not us average goats around here in Northwest Indiana, but maybe a nice cash pouch, If
Exactly.
you
Definitely.
got a big money
I
game.
would use that thing. I would have a lot. Well, I don't know about big money. I would have a bunch of singles for like
Yeah.
dice afterwards.
Afterwards, yeah.
on the patio.
No,
Yeah.
no. For the
Little
big
ship Captain Crew.
Yeah, there you go.
no, for that we had to buy a lockable money bag for our big trip in January because it was big monies. And then you get a putter cover to commemorate the year.
So you
know.
get this quarterly, once a year.
Annually, so you do the membership annually, and then basically, like last year, I signed up for it. It ended up getting canceled in like February or March because they
COVID?
ran out of stuff.
Mm.
They just ran out of supplies, so they just stopped it. One year, you got a nice Sunday bag. That was probably my most favorite. Was that year? Sitting in my basement.
I would say, why have I never seen this thing?
Right.
It's in my
Hawk
basement.
that thing in a hurry.
It's in
Never
the
seen
basement.
you out there Sundays carrying.
I'll put that thing to use, though.
So it's a Sunday bag. I put a stand on it. Most Sunday bags are just shoulder strap, but I put a stand on it so you can set it down. And this year you got a Tervis or a tumbler as well, or a drinking bottle. So customized.
What brand did they go with? They didn't slap that on a Yeti, did they?
Nope.
No. Hydro Flask. Not
Yep.
familiar.
Oh, if you talk to Kaylin, my daughter, she knows all about it.
Hydro Flask?
Oh yeah, big time. She's got like 4 of them.
Probably putting a little different liquid in there than what we would be thinking about on the
Yeah,
weekends.
I have a couple Hydro Flasks. They all say Coors Light on the side. And there's this little mountain indicator.
Which
that's blue.
Which
They're-
reminds me, didn't Golf.com this past weekend come out with what's your beer of choice on course, and it had like basically all your top 6 or 8 domestic beers, pretty much.
Really?
Who,
Well, that's
who
something we
came
could
out
do.
with this?
I think it was Golf.com had a survey of what's your beer of choice on the course, and they had Coors Light, Miller Light.
Michelob.
Well,
Michelob
part of that is
Ultra.
probably because most clubs, your halfway house or your beverage cart, are going to primarily have domestics. They're not getting a lot of variety out there.
They did have Corona on there. Corona Extra. I don't think it was Corona
Heineken.
Light.
I see Heineken a
Green
lot.
bottle BS.
I can't drink.
No Heinekens?
No.
Nah, I don't like
Really?
anything in a green bottle, man.
No.
Wow. So you're not going to want to partake in this 6-pack of Rolling Rock I have for after the show?
Definitely not Rolling Rock guy.
Where are we
no.
going? Back,
Pennsylvania Mountain
Yeah.
Tea.
we heading over to back court?
Give me
Everybody George's?
I'll
or
take some
what?
yellow jackets, but no
Okay.
no
So
Rolling
no
Rock.
Mickey's hand grenades?
No.
I don't think
No.
I don't think banquets were on there. Like I said, it was mostly domestics. And the
I'm
only-
sure it was. Probably
only-
Miller Lite at the top for your hot dog water drinkers,
Bud Light.
Coors Light, Bud Light. Mick Ultra seems to be a popular one on beverage carts for the skinny boys.
Like
you
I
know.
said, Corona.
No,
I
they've gone full man purse, Scotty Cameron
Yeah.
chapstick. They go White Claws now.
Yeah, no, what? That's
And then they're like,
that's
there
right.
ain't no laws but claws. You are not playing golf in my group with a White Claw.
Yeah.
Somehow I get thrown into that category. And
Are they profiling you?
Yes.
I think we have to ban White Claws at our club for 2021 based off of last year, don't we?
Oh,
White Claws have to go.
yeah.
No, they sell too good.
They sell too good. Yeah.
They sell too good.
Pappy's
I
just
would
like,
just-
I'll pick them up.
I'll deal with
I'll
it.
pick them up.
I would just
I'll pick 'em up.
Just do a man tax. If you want that, and you're not a female golfer, you're $2.50 more per can.
Couple extra bucks.
I tried to bring up the doing the road tax or the cart path tax. Quarter. Just throw it right in the slot
There
every
you
time
go.
you go out.
Like an old like a meter.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
Old parking meters you go through
Yep.
a little toll. I like that.
I know some guys that would never throw a quarter in that thing.
Also eat popcorn every time.
So
So on course beer, it sounds like Coors Light for Pappy.
I do Coors Light, or I do a lot of vodka.
Oh yeah,
I like
you can't
vodka.
go wrong there.
And, when
What's
the
your-
members
what's
come
your-
to yell at you about a pin placement, they don't smell it.
Yep,
They
yeah.
don't know you've been drinking
Yeah,
since
and the
6
cans
a.m.
aren't falling out of the
Yeah,
Fixing
No.
irrigation
Yeah.
heads that were hit
So,
on
Yeah.
by Lamar.
vodka. What's the mixer? What's the on-course mixer with vodka?
I could just do like lemon and water.
Yeah, just a little
Yeah.
water. And,
Franklin,
absolutely.
Franklin does that too.
yeah,
I'll do.
Franklin's a big water and vodka guy.
It's not bad
yeah.
because the vodka is pretty heavy pour. It's a splash
Oh,
of
yeah.
water.
Yeah.
And
Now
then
flat
just-
water or soda water?
Oh no, sparkling.
Sparkling.
Yeah, we're the
No,
same.
right out of the tap. Lake
Yeah.
Michigan, the best water in the world.
Halfway house water.
No, it's
Uh,
Kankakee River.
What do they
Come
call that?
from the Kankakee.
Non-potable.
Non-potable.
Yeah. We test that water. I would not drink it. It's almost bad to use even in the toilets. That's how bad that water
So you wouldn't
is.
clean your clothes with it, is what
No,
you're saying?
no.
Oh, I do. That's
these
about
people
all I
that
use it
go in
for.
there and they wet their towel and then they're wiping their face. I'm just like, oh.
I don't wipe my face. I wet
It
my
says
towel.
it right there. There's a
Yeah.
picture with the hands washing with a line through it.
Yeah, don't do it.
No.
So Joel,
Or
what's
I-
your, aside from, we know that you partake in the White Claws. Let's get back to this.
Yeah.
I want to hear
That is a
Gord-
misnomer. You know,
All right, you and Spangler.
Oh, what, truly?
member guest, you're trying to pound a couple drinks to take the edge off. Member guest horse race on the 17th or 16th hole because you've been there the last 3 years.
Well, some of us start with a Bloody Mary at 8 and then a 6-pack right away, and we just go all day.
Yeah, if it's cold out in the morning, a nice Captain and Coke with a lime is
Yeah.
pretty good to get it going.
That's
Now, our
right.
new fall drink was the Screwball peanut butter whiskey,
yeah.
Yeah.
coffee,
Oh, yeah.
Peanut butter
and just
whiskey.
a splash of like Godiva or something, you know?
Yeah,
I
with
like
chocolate.
it without the Godiva and without the coffee. Just,
the
screwball and the rocks
Oh,
is pretty good.
It is good.
That's good too.
Yeah.
No, I'd say Tito's soda, lemon and lime. That's the go-to. Might pound some Corona Premiers.
Yeah, I stick with the. I mean, vodka's great on course drink, especially when it's hot out. But beer guy primarily, so Shandy for sure is at the top of my list, and Corona Premiers, just because you could drink 100 of them.
100 premiers.
You could drink them all day, sun
you
up,
got-
sundown.
You got on those one.
Who are you, Andre the Giant?
You
Wade
got on.
Boggs?
You got on those one. Had the corn on the side. Those knockoff shandies. What were those? An IPA or something?
Red Dog?
No, it's a Shandy. It's just a
No.
local.
Yeah, I can't remember
forget
it.
where it's
You
out
were
of,
on
but-
those a little bit last fall too.
Yeah, but that's an off-course drink. We don't sell that to Yush, so.
No.
So after the round, you don't have to pound. You can sit and relax. Maybe not the light stuff. What's a
Tito's and soda still.
Tito's and soda? You just shot a great round. You're happy.
Tito's and soda.
You're gonna just enjoy the rest of the Saturday, not worry about making that early tee time on Sunday. You're gonna bask in the glory of the round on Saturday. You win a couple bucks off your buddies. You're sticking with the Tito's and soda.
Yep.
Oh no! See, I got.
You're going straight to bourbon.
I got everything. Everything's on the board there.
Oh.
Because
Oh.
I did it. I
He's
did it.
finished.
Wow.
Round's finished.
I was the goat of
Rounds-
average goats in my group
Yeah.
that day. I am. We're doing some Jamesons.
Oh, wow.
We're going around the world.
Nice.
Yeah, it was your big day. You got to celebrate it, no?
I mean, every weekend when I play golf is a big day.
Oh,
Oh, so then we have leads to like a nice little segue about we got our different segments of average goats. So we got our every weekend guys, you know,
correct.
and then we got our guys that get out once a week, once every couple of weeks. So you don't necessarily need to have those drinks after every round. Where the one guy's like, I'm on a mission, right? It's game
I want
time
to talk.
after
I want to
round.
talk to the guy that plays in a scramble once a month. You know, he leaves early on Friday. He knows his cart is coming in with like 30 empty
Oh,
cans.
yeah.
And he's getting picked up by his wife or
Yeah.
girlfriend, or
Oh,
he's got
yeah.
the Uber ready or the buddy pickup. That's the guy I want to talk to.
There's no trunk slamming out of those guys at all. You know, they're
They're
They
in it for the
forget their
long.
clubs half the
They're
time.
in it
on
for the long
rack.
haul.
they
Their car is going to be out in the parking lot tomorrow morning.
they get out of the
What
out
kind
of the
of set
shop.
do you got? I don't know. I picked it up at Costco.
Yeah. They get out of the bar, walk to the wife's car, and are wondering where their clubs are. You know, that's
yeah.
they just parked it and they have no clue where they are.
Those are the best. That's the
Yeah.
fourth guy in the scramble. It has to be. He brings the party.
Yeah, I'd say post round drink for me. Typically, just continuation of the beers usually, but I'll switch to the bourbon. I used to be a bigger vodka guy, but now I'm gravitating towards the brown liquor. So, little Basil Hayden.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, that's pretty good stuff.
Yeah.
Pretty good stuff. High end. I think you're in that elite with Joel for the average goats.
Not on the golf level.
There we go.
So we're gonna have to keep a track. Every week we're gonna come in here and Joel, you talked all that stuff earlier in the year in the winter. How did you do this weekend? Did you beat everybody like you said every
Yeah.
weekend?
Yeah.
And then we'll have to hear why not.
The fall stretch, I had a pretty good run going against him. I'll tell you that. I think 4 out of 5 rounds I clipped you. One of those days was that 40-mile-an-hour win.
Somehow your stat lines are way off.
Shot of the year.
Way off. Somehow your stat lines are way off.
So coming, here we are. We're wrapping up the winter. It looks like the weather's gonna break here earlier because
Looks great.
we got to play golf really a lot later into the season than we normally do, and winter didn't really hit except for a couple weeks in February here. So, what are you guys? What do you have to get done with maybe your equipment, or what do you want to work on before the season really starts going here in the next probably 3 weeks? We'll be playing consistently. What do you guys think that you got to get done?
I would agree on the season's going to come sooner than what we think. I mean, this snow, we had 12 inches of snow and it's melted in less than 2 days. I would honestly say if the last 2 days, if there wasn't snow on the ground, we would have saw people playing for sure, just because it felt like it was warmer than what it actually was, and the sun was out. Equipment-wise, I have problems, and problems meaning I have
Joel, go ahead, tell me. I'm your therapist for golf.
Many
Tell
problems.
me.
Yeah.
Many
Get 'em
Put your
out there.
feet up on the couch.
Everybody else wants to hear it. Get them out there.
Put your head back.
Put
and
your
just
head back and
relax.
tell me.
You know, I had a set of clubs refinished that I bought, real cheap. Set them at old Mizuno's. I have 2 new drivers, not new but new to me, that I'm eager to test out. The only club that will not have changed in the bag this upcoming season is my 3-wood. So, and 3-wood, honestly, I was telling my buddy who plays member guest with me, Harazi, I was telling him, I'm like, I've only used 2 3-woods in the last 15 years.
What do you got? The M2?
M5.
Okay. Everybody on tour is the guys that are like playing without contracts.
The
You see
M2
the
was
M2
hot.
popping up in everybody's bag still, so that's interesting. And along with the, there's like a Callaway driving iron everybody has.
And putters, for me, there's 30 in the basement. And I did get a new Shop Credit PXG blackjack putter.
Nice.
I got another Piper something ping that's, So I have a lot of problems with equipment.
Doesn't sound like problems at all.
I get really bored with what I'm playing because I can get something else that's going to have the same exact result.
I think he probably brought up that 3-wood just because he wanted us to
Do you remember
mention
that
his
shot?
3-wood from
Right.
last year, but we're not going to
Exactly.
do it
I'm
right
not
now.
gonna
You
fall
know what?
for
We're
that.
not going to do it.
I'm gonna fall
no,
for it.
not happening.
270, dead into the wind.
Hey, it's his turn to talk.
Yeah.
Sit back on the therapist couch and
Yeah.
think about all your putters.
We'll save
I just
that.
want to remind everybody too. Like 10 minutes ago, we were talking about an Ian Poulter video, and he was like, "Oh yeah, putters. I don't have that issue." And now he's like,
Yeah.
"By the way, I have 2 staff bag fulls in my basement."
Yeah.
3.
Yeah.
Tell me one real quick though, because I want to hear from your brother. You got a 2-ball?
Nope.
Oh wow, you're like one of the only ones with a massive collection. Everybody always, I don't know, they had to have one of those 2-ball
Nope.
Odysseys.
I don't know that there's any Odysseys in the collection, is there? Maybe a.
There's one. There's Las Vegas. It's the Fang model with the stability shaft in it. That's about the only Odyssey / Callaway putter that I have.
Huh.
Everything else is a Scotty Cameron or PXG, and I have 2 ping putters. So, Michael,
Yeah, we're not going to hear the 3-wood story today. We'll
No.
maybe
we'll
save it
save that
another
for
day.
when
A
we
little build-up,
reminisce.
right? But equipment-wise, for me, I don't make a lot of changes. Not anything close to this guy.
He buys wedges more often than what I do.
Wedges, not that it matters because I don't spin the ball as much as he does. Just the 60 degree takes a beating in the bunkers. Just, maybe I'm in there more than I should be, but.
We got that.
So I
Michigan Beach
typically
sand.
get a 60, but I replace that towards the end of the year. Comfortable with the driver, which is what, an M5 Tour, I think, which I like. Nice shaft in it. Big Mizuno guy, iron guy, so I've been playing those for a few years. I'm comfortable there. I went through about 3 different 3-woods in the last year because my M2 Tour from 2017 took a shit, so to speak, and I can't hit any 3-wood off the ground right now, so keep tinkering there, I suppose. What about you, Pappy?
So actually, a couple weeks ago, I did something, believe it or not, I have never done.
You went and
got
got fitted
fitted.
for clubs.
I got on a launch monitor with a guy and just hitting drivers, and
That's tiring.
it was.
Yeah,
It absolutely was, since I hadn't swung in months.
That's
He's like, just bring your driver, hit these 10 balls. I'm like, okay, we got enough information. He's like, well, no, that was to set your baseline. Now we're gonna start fitting you. I'm like, oh, okay. Do we have a break?
Yeah.
So we started off. I got fitted with the ping. Went with the ping.
425.
He
Nice.
talked me into 425 because the last year's models that are not really being helpful on sending any of those out, and it was actually really interesting. I just thought, what difference could a shaft really make?
Oh, it makes a big difference.
And the spin rate was
Look at the
insane.
amateur.
I am an amateur.
Or average goat.
I'm just an average
Yeah.
goat. I'm not, I don't have Scotty Cameron purses.
Yeah.
I don't.
Dude,
I have old Crown Royal bags.
There you go.
Yeah.
I've been telling everybody for years, 10 years now plus, that a driver shaft and an iron shaft make way more difference than the actual club head itself.
Well, you've also taken your golf game more serious than us probably for a long time, right? Playing in
Yeah,
college.
I mean,
but
but
shaft, that's an interesting tidbit.
I was
'cause-
always kind of taught old school, you know, if you just make a nice smooth swing, it doesn't matter what you're swinging. And
No.
well, there is some truth to it, but because you have to have good fundamentals in that. But if there's an advantage out there with equipment, why wouldn't you why wouldn't you use it?
Yeah.
And I was just stupid and stubborn for 20 years now, and wow, go get it done if you've never done
Oh,
it. It's
yeah.
totally worth it. Like I couldn't believe it. We dropped over like 2,200 off my spin rate,
wow.
and so yeah,
your spin rate honestly should be about that
right,
total.
right.
So if
I'm a
you're-
little steep.
if you
I'm a
would
little
drop,
steep.
I'm a little steep.
if you drop 2,200 on your spin rate, were you hitting it really high?
No, launch angles, awesome. It was a really cool experience. I highly recommend it.
Yeah, for sure.
Highly recommend it. I don't think people should do it actually outside.
No.
I liked seeing the ball tracer on the screen. You know, you
Yeah.
gotta have a good system. You know,
Yep.
a TrackMan or Flight Scope. But sometimes I was kind of like, oh my God, it's gonna be this much money to do this. It was the wisest thing I ever done, and I get to go back in the spring, and they said, don't change your irons, come back, and you're gonna hit some balls for us outside. They want to do that part outside, and I think again, because I'm steep, they're gonna bend them. And
Yeah, the cool thing about getting fitted is that most of those places, like especially the place that I go for all my stuff and order most of my equipment from, if you do a fitting and you end up actually purchasing the piece of equipment, they'll just include. They won't charge you for the actual
yeah, they
fitting
let you
itself.
put it towards the
Yes,
purchase
exactly.
of the clubs.
Which
yep.
is pretty cool. So people have this misconception that you're gonna have to pay $400 to get a whole bag fitting, when most places, like I said, they basically credit that back to you.
Yeah, so the shaft is interesting because I went through the same experience in 2019, where I was always the same, buy the club,
You mean the
it's
driver you took?
it's the swing, and I happened to hock a driver from JB here, which is that M5 Tour, and I wouldn't know what shaft is in it, but then I realized, look, this shaft is the deal because the ball flight's different, the control is way better, you don't have those bad misses. So it is a huge deal. So I will always, when I get fitted, make sure that the proper shaft is in that driver.
I agree. All right, well, I think we're getting to the time where we're going to
Yeah.
wrap this first
Yeah.
episode up. It was fun, and I think what I'm shooting for next week is to go over the World Golf Championship with you guys, see how we did on our picks. The same with Puerto Rico, the Puerto Rico Open. I might even retire from this show by next week because I've won so much money in the FanDuel. But and then we'll obviously have some sort of hopefully an update on Tiger. Hopefully it's good news. Everything works out with him there. And I think the topic I'm going to want to dive in next week will be wedges. We just kind of brought it up, and it kind of light bulb went in my head. How often are the average golfers changing wedges? And how often should they be changing wedges? And
Yeah, I think that'll
I'm
be
going to
good.
reach out and
good
maybe we get
topic.
some information, kind of like we were just talking about getting fitted for a driver shaft and that, and what can help the golfers out there and get them, get their wedges dialed in a little bit more, because that is, 110, 120 in is the most important part of the game. So what are you guys thinking about for next week?
I think that's a good topic.
Yeah, I definitely Tiger. What's the Tiger? We'll obviously follow it daily. It'll be all over our Twitter feeds. What's the updates for Tiger? So looking forward to that. I want to see how this shakes out at concession. See the golf course. I'm not
Story of
familiar
the
with
week.
it, so I want to see what it looks like, how these guys play it. Real quick, back to the driver shaft setup. I'm curious to know what your thoughts are. So when you go get fitted for a driver, for those guys that haven't gotten fitted before, when I mentioned it's exhausting. So you're going in there. They want you to give pretty much your everything on most swings. How do you think that the higher handed, the guys that are trying to break 90, trying to break 85, if they're going to get fitted for a driver, should they be going in there swinging their absolute hardest on every single
No.
swing, right? Which
happens.
So it does happen. That's what
Unfortunately.
that's one thing where I would say if you're getting fitted for a driver and you're trying to get under that 90 range, don't go in there and give it your all like they're trying to push you to swing your absolute hardest on every, because you're going to get to the golf course and not do that. So that's and the guys that are lower handicaps, breaking 80 consistently, you're going to be swinging harder. You're going to get that up there. So that's just a thought I just had when we talked about driver shafts.
Yeah, I would kind of say more along the lines of when you're on the first tee and you're like, all right, nice smooth swing. You're kind of telling yourself, or I do at least, 85% nice smooth. Let's get it in play and get it off, and then whack, son of a.
Oh yeah.
God, I'm right again.
Yeah, hit
Average goat.
that first left tee
Maybe I'll
or
just
first
start
left
the-
tree at Yugi.
Yeah, I'll just start the dice game a little bit earlier at the patio. I don't need this for
Yeah.
another 17
You're bringing it
holes.
in from 10 fairway to 1 green, and you're like, what the
Yeah.
Right.
So
what day did I sign up for today?
I'm looking forward to those things. I'm looking forward to talking about wedges next week because I think that's an area where we hit those clubs a lot more in our bag than we do a lot of other clubs. So that's very important.
Honestly, I like us trying to keep everybody on the hook for the next week with talking about wedges and talking about hopefully next week we get to dive into the USHA a little bit and talking about the upcoming season and
Yeah.
expectations, excitement,
Local stuff.
local stuff, what's going on, local golf.
So real quick then, can you guys, for anybody that's interested, can you guys explain how in the next week they can become more part of the show and they could start
sending
messaging
in
us,
ideas.
hey, I do this wedge and this is why, and we can bring that up on the show. And also, where's their home course? What club do they belong to if they belong to a club, or if they play a specific public course all the time and that's where they have their handicap established. Maybe they're one of these guys that belongs to one of the traveling groups and they're one of those people that I don't want to belong to one place. I want to play many places. And maybe just some feedback of what their buzz is for their club, their public course, and kind of get everybody ready for the spring here.
Yeah, I think that's a great point. We got a Facebook page that we created at Average Goats, so message us on there. Everything's kind of new and under construction right now, so there's not a whole lot out there as we build everything up. We're going to go live next week, so this podcast will be put out there, but it's not Facebook Live.
Live from the Goat Pen.
the
It's
studio
It's basically just going to be Facebook Live. I mean,
So
live video.
catch us. We're planning to do it every Wednesday at 2 p.m. Subject to change based off of the golf season, as we have our course superintendent is here with us. So his schedule will dictate that a little bit if he's busy at the club. So, but I do like the point of we want to hear about where do you belong? What do you how's your game? And I think you'll learn from us as we go along where our games stand, what we struggle with, what our handicaps are, what the variety. And I will throw out one caveat that this show is not necessarily meant to be sensitive to anybody's feelings. So we may throw some names out there from time to time, just talking average goat stuff about shots hit here or there, good shots, bad shots, indifferent. There's no ill will. There's no anything meant towards any of that stuff. We're just here to have fun, and part of having fun, especially after you've played a round of golf, is giving somebody shit based off of the shank they just hit or the the
Absolutely.
chunks that they just had for 5 out of the last 6 holes, or
chunks come up on you quick.
coming 18, hitting 2 balls in the water, and making an 11. All of that stuff is on the table here. We're here to have fun and talk golf. So
Absolutely. I don't know if there's many things I enjoy as much as watching bad golf.
it's excellent.
And
isn't
that's
it?
why I
It's
wouldn't
fun.
have minded the
Yeah.
pros' little struggle last
It's
week.
fun.
But
And at the average goat level, the best is the reactions after you hit those bad shots. The great ones, everybody gets excited, but the bad ones, it's the reaction after they
Yeah.
hit the bad shot that's the greatest.
yeah.
They had total different expectation of what that shot was going to be
Yeah.
before they hit it.
And you put 20, 30 of your buddies from where you're playing at or the event you're in, and they're watching, and you miss it. The reaction is so authentic,
Yeah.
and it shows they were really caring or wanted to do it, and again, they don't pull it off, and I agree.
Yeah,
Just
and
watching
we
that.
have a TikTok feed that doesn't have a lot out there right now, and it'll build up. But our last year when we started that was our initial jump, was the TikTok feed, and we were going to get golf shots that we're hitting and put them on it, good or bad. And one of the first few that we got out there, Joel and I play a lot of golf together, and we're talking through a little wedge shot that I had, and I end up just flat out chili pepper in this baby, and it's just kind of like, okay, that's real life. That's average goat golf stuff. So.
Right. So fans, look us up and listen to this first one, but also I'd watch that video first, and then you'll get the idea of what we're trying to do here.
Yeah, and send us your videos because we'll get that on the Average Goat page and let people
For
assess
sure.
it. So
Tag it on there.
Yeah.
Or, TikTok. I don't know what a TikTok is, but for sure. Well, thanks a lot, guys.
Thanks,
and,
everyone.
next week, can't
Yep.
wait.
Thanks.
See you then.
Yep.